All right, so we're going to do I'm going to show you the shoulders and arms today. It is very possible, and I would even go so far as to say likely, that you will need to bulk up your shoulders and arms, especially the shoulders, because there's just probably not a plastic bag, enough plastic bags there to make them. So what I've done is I've just cut like about this much plastic off another bag. And you want to put it kind of behind your neck and kind of pull out your arms so you can kind of see. You want it as even as possible. And then you have to remember that you need shoulders. And so shoulders need to kind of come up. And this is another thing that you want to make sure that you're compressing inward towards the middle of the figure. In order to get it the correct proportions. So I've kind of torn some tape. I'm going to tear it into smaller pieces and kind of want to hold it where you want it so you are getting it at least a good start so that then you can go and wrap the arms. Once you get it in place, you don't have to worry so much about making it look good. And I should tell you, I smoothed out my head too from last time, so you can kind of see that. And the way I did that, just so you know, is you just take smaller pieces of tape, just tear them into small pieces. And then if you have dents and stuff, just kind of lay it loosely over it. And as you keep adding tape, it'll smooth out just on its own. So then as you get this placed, I'm just going to take my neck so I don't forget that so it doesn't get too wide. You would just take strips of tape, and I'll just start demonstrating on one arm here, and kind of wrap it around your arm. You don't want to get your arms too thick. Think about the proportions of your arms. If your arms are going to be bent in any way, you need to kind of start doing that now, because you do not want them, you don't want to tape them and then have to go back and tear it off. Your arms, remember, as they come down from the shoulders, it looks like I need to bounce that up a little bit. Your hands, the tip of your hands are going to hit mid-thigh, okay? Or around there. So make sure that you don't have super short arms while you're working on this. So all I would do now is keep taping. For the hands, you're all going to start asking me questions about the hands. You want to, I'll show you, just so you don't have to, you can keep working. Your hands for right now, we're just going to make them kind of like mitten shape. And if your plastic bags, like you can see mine down there, are really thin, just put a piece of tape over it, kind of flatten it like that, and then keep wrapping around it. If you do want to cut fingers, that's kind of one of the last steps you want to worry about. Fingers, details on the face, all of that, you want to get all your accessories and whatever your character's wearing on and all the body proportions correct before you start to worry about things like that. Okay, I'm going to tear some more tape and just wrap up this arm and show you when it's finished. And then this video will be done. So you also want to think while you're doing this about the fact that your bicep, you know, your muscles up here, I guess you guys can't see that, muscles up here, and this part of the arm are much bigger in circumference than your forearm and especially your wrist. So you might want to wrap a few extra tape, pieces of tape around up that area. You can see my shoulders starting to sink again. So I'm going to keep building that up with tape. And I think my character is going to kind of have one arm kind of coming in. So I'm going to tape that in position, and then I'm going to work on getting the arm super tight and neat. Make sure you're not bending your arm and character any place that there wouldn't logically be a joint. That will give the viewer kind of an awkward feeling. Could even, you don't want to make them look like they have broken limbs unless that's part of your character design. So only bend it at places that have joints. And this arm, I'm going to have to kind of bend while trying to keep the bicep straight, the same way we did when we did the foot, where we took a smaller piece of tape and kind of held it up with the tape. I didn't get that one. And then wrap around that tape. And you, as you're working, if you can even ball up tape, you may not want to, I wouldn't recommend this for any like large areas, or then you would just use plastic bags to kind of buff things up. But like for my shoulder, that's a pretty small area. So I'm just going to kind of crumple up some tape and tape over it so I have a better shoulder. Okay, so then what I would do is I'd go back after I get just the basic position and everything done. I would go back and I would tape it same way I did this, add little pieces of tape, kind of smooth it out, make parts that need to be thinner, like my wrist could be a little thinner, parts that could be thicker, and keep going, and then do the other arm.